What's up, guys? Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody's having a good day. Bear with me a second while I share this out. Oh, hope everybody's having a good day. Just going to go over a few updates. I'm trying to do these update videos, once a week or once every couple weeks, something like that. Um, and so hang on one second. Recently okay, so let me do the update stuff first, and then we'll get into the more meat of the conversation. Um, okay, so as you guys know, this coming month, September, first week of the month, I'll be at Tucson Comic Con in Tucson, Arizona. Then the second week of the month, I will be at Fan Expo Dallas. I believe it's the third weekend of the month. I will be at um, uh, UltraCon in Palm Beach, Florida, I believe, and we'll be debuting the Realistic Comics uh, Psycho Sound #1 exclusive for UltraCon. So I think, um, I think all of that's going to be fun. This will be my first time doing Tucson Comic Con. It'll be my first time doing UltraCon. Huge thank you to both of those promoters for bringing me out. A huge thank you, of course, Brian Polito for Tucson Comic Con for bringing me out as a guest, and the promoters of UltraCon for bringing me in as a guest, and then of course Fan Expo Dallas. I'll be in Pro Row. A huge thank you to Kevin Boyd for bringing me out to that. We The Psycho Sal omnibus books are being processed. So, again, we're just waiting our turn in the queue on the printers for those. They've got midsummer's a lot of printing going on, exclusives and Kickstarters and all kinds of stuff. So everything's always slow during the summer months when it comes to things like that. I told you guys about us having to find a new printer and things like that. That whole fiasco that wasted almost 2 months. It was 7 weeks, I believe, that wasted. But we got that sorted out, and I think everything's going to be fine now. Say hi, guys, if you're in the channel. The other thing, so I'm working on commissions this week. I worked on the house yesterday. Saturday, we drove out to see my daughter Victoria and Zach. They gave birth to their first child, Bo, our fourth grandbaby. But so we drove out there Saturday, which is about a 4-hour drive one way and then 4 hours back. So we went to go see them and visit with her and the baby. Yesterday I worked painting the bedroom, getting the walls painted, the trim painted. I know you guys are all loving the updates on the house, and I appreciate that. What's up, Ed? But this week I'll be working on commission. What's up, Ryan? So again, working down the list of 11 by 17 commissions. These take a little bit longer. I want to talk about commissions and expectations for artists and expectations for fans and clients. There is a window. If you're dealing with a pro artist, a professional artist that does cover work for publication, that does traveling for Comic-Cons, and then commissions on top of it, wait lists can vary. You might be on a commission list for a month and your product's done. You might be on there a couple weeks. It all depends on what's going on at that moment. It also depends on the complexity of the piece you ordered. It depends on the complexity of the pieces of the other people prior to your name on the list. It's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. So it's not unusual to be on a professional comic artist commission list for a month, 3 months, 6 months, even up close to a year. Now, I'm a big believer, unless they're working on multiple projects for you and there's no real timeline, so they can bounce back and forth from other projects and then jump back up on yours later because you're not in a hurry. Some fans are like that. We might be doing a very big project with multiple projects attached to it for you. I've got some fans that order commissions like that. They order back-to-back commissions because they're creating this thing. Like one person I'm working on is like 4 different 11 by 17 fully rendered pencil commissions with 2 characters on every single one. But that person doesn't have a hard deadline, so he's cool to get them whenever I get done with them. He's in no rush. Some fans are like that. So I can pause his, jump on other stuff that's got a little bit thicker deadline, and jump back over onto that a bit later. So it's not unusual. So I try not to make sure, I try to make sure no commissions run past a year. Especially most of my commissions are out within a month to 3 months time frame, depending again on what's going on. If it's the height of con season and we're doing 2 to 3 shows a month and then cover work for publication, we're working on commissions as fast as we can without rushing them and hindering the quality. You just have to be patient. Now, on the flip side of that, sadly, there are a lot of artists who abuse that will take commissions back to back without capping their list. And you end up with a 2, 3, 4 year wait list, and or they ghost you completely, like this one particular female artist that just got called out again. It always blows my mind that there's multiple call outs over the years. You would think when it's publicly made available that certain artists are trash and they don't respect you as fans. They don't respect your money and your time and your investment. And they just throw shit on the back burner and they get to it whenever they fucking feel like it, excuse my language. And then they give you 1,000 excuses of all their personal life bullshit as a reasoning for their trash behavior. I think you guys got to stop giving these people these leeways. If they screw, especially you that go back for seconds, that's one of the ones that really confuses me. Like, I get the fandom, I get loving someone's art and their style or the way they do things. I get that. But some of you go back for second helpings on these people that feed you a shit pie. And that is really confusing to me. Again, I tell everyone, when you're dealing with artists, there's nothing wrong with searching their name and seeing if there's any legit reasons of issues being called out on them. Now, again, I'm not talking about searching some artist's name and you see somebody talking shit because they're petty, jealous trash themselves and they're trying to throw shade at somebody that outworks them, outshines them. So, there's no real reason why they're talking shit on them other than they just don't like them. But when you see posts, you search this Diaz person and you see posts where she's shit on retailers, she has shit on Comic-Con promoters, and she has shit on fans on multiple occasions. And again, all you got to do is search someone's name or check the Comic Bureau group or whatever and look, and you'll see tons of posts about these artists. If you see artists being called out because they're ghosting people, that they won't fulfill orders that are 2 years old, a year old, 3 years old, whatever the case may be, and people have tried to contact them and to get no answers, they get completely ghosted and ignored. How the hell do you turn around and give them your money? Like that's just silly ass behavior on your part. Don't give someone your money when they already are being called out by other people by not delivering their artwork. Now, obviously, if you didn't know, you didn't know. But in this day and age, it's kind of hard not to know. You can search their name on social media and see how many posts pop up where somebody's called them out for non-delivery of paid for product and how they ghosted them. And some handler, Comic Capsule or whatever the fuck they were that's handling her, finally, after weeks upon weeks of you trying to get someone to answer your emails, they finally answer your email talking about that we were just about to email you. No, they weren't. Anyone who starts a damn sentence like that, after you've tried for weeks to get a hold of them, I don't give a shit whether it's an artist or a handler or retailer, whomever dealing with that artist. If the first words out their mouth is, we were just about to email you. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. And them answering your email or answering your comment on a post does not equal them making it right. I keep seeing some of you ladies chime in on this post calling this female artist out. Well, good on them for making it right. Answering somebody's comment finally after weeks of chasing them to get a roundabout answer, that's not handling the situation. That's not making it right. And stop trying to pat people on the back for making shit right. They should have made it right from the get-go. Why are you? That's like patting somebody on the back for not being an alcoholic. Sorry, guys. Shit's a choice. That's like patting somebody on the back for being a good parent. There's just certain things you should be doing because that's part of your job or that's part of you being a decent person. Yeah, exactly. And that's just one of many. Like there's many artists that are getting called out for this. And some of you guys keep going back for seconds and thirds. Like, it's mind blowing me. Now, when you go back for the second time and you get burned again, you don't need to make a post about shit. You chose that aggravation on your own because you knew their behavior from the previous time. Because there is absolutely, I don't care what's up, Michael? I don't care who the artist is or who the retailer is. When they're not answering you, that is them making their point clear to you. I'm so sick of these bullshit excuses that I see these people giving you guys and y'all just eating it up like, okay, no, they're not too busy to answer you. They have this phone attached to their hand just as much as the rest of us, and it's sitting near them when it's not in their hand. They look at that phone many times a day. They see the notifications pop up. They see the email notifications. They see the Facebook Messenger notifications. They're choosing not to answer you. Because if people like myself and these other artists and creators who are doing shit the right way and are as busy as we are, have time to answer your messages in a timely manner, so does everyone else. I don't give a shit what's going on in their personal life. I mean, I hate anybody has problems in their personal life. I hate that for everyone. It sucks. But if you're going to run a business, you don't get to use it as a cop-out bullshit excuse. It doesn't matter. Your job is to follow through with your commitments to your clients. And like I said, when they don't answer you, that is their answer. Y'all got to stop chasing these bad relationships. So that part's on you guys. When you see somebody doing this shit, and another thing too, I don't give a shit if you had 500 great interactions with some artist. If there's 2 or 3 people or even one person that has a shitty interaction where they haven't delivered on owed product, you don't get to chime in with, well, I've dealt with them several times and they've never screwed me over. That's irrelevant. It has nothing to do with the person that made that post. Now, like I said, now I'm talking about people with legit problems, not people throwing shade because they're jealous or people making petty posts because they're angry or somebody said something to hurt their little delicate ass feelings. I'm not talking about shit like that. I'm not talking about hearsay posts or slander posts. I'm talking about actual physical evidence, proven posts where someone's calling out someone for not delivering on merchandise that they paid for. It doesn't matter what your interaction was. That's irrelevant. It is what's happening right now. And again, that person isn't the first. A lot of times that person's not even the 4th or 5th. It's just they're may have been the first few that called it out after weeks or months or years of aggravation of not getting an answer. Because, I mean, when you're paying, I don't give a shit if it's $50 or you're paying $5,000 for something. It matters. I mean, like I even get the delay on Kickstarters and stuff. Like we know delays can happen. We know printing shit can happen. But the important thing is you keep people updated and you send out information. The same thing goes with artists. That's why I do posts. And, I try to let you guys know that I'm working down the commission list and I'll get to people as soon as I can. And I post the stuff that's completed and I post some teasers of stuff I'm working on to keep you guys in the loop about what's going on. That's why I talk about the upcoming shows and I talk about the travel and I talk about upcoming projects and what's got to go into that. I try to keep you guys in the loop about the printing process of books. Whether there's an issue that happened, I try to keep you guys filled in on that. A lot of people want to hide problems that happen in this weird sense of, oh, well, the fans don't really want to hear that. No, the fans do. They want to hear if there's a problem. They don't want you hiding it and then making 1,000 excuses. If something goes wrong, let them know. If, there's nothing wrong with, if you're having a personal moment, you need a day, there's nothing wrong with that. But you don't get to take money from people and, and then 2 years later, you're still making excuses or you're ghosting them or you're ignoring their PMs. That's not how you run a business. But like I said, you guys got to stop chasing the shit. Stop giving these artists these free passes. Well, you don't understand what she might be going through. Fuck what she's going through. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I'm going through. Whether it's I'm dealing with family stuff or I'm dealing with business stuff or I'm dealing with stress or I'm dealing with health or I'm dealing with depression or whatever the hell else I'm dealing with, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. The fans are here for their product. Now, the fans care. They want you to be okay. They want you to not feel stressed out and pressured. They do. But they are here for their product they paid for. And you don't get to just milk these family excuses 24/7 on your bullshit meter. Yeah, I mean, shit can happen. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't know why it took them 5 years for you to get it if they had it finished in plenty of time, unless you're talking about, I don't know. Like that's obviously that's your scenario about what happened. I don't have a clue why it would take 5 years. Yeah, exactly, Mitch. It doesn't matter. But, that's the difference between people that got shit handed to them. Because let's be honest, that particular person hasn't earned shit. She got a DC cover handed to her because she was friends with the right people. And guys are idiots. So they think the more lift up they can give somebody, they're going to get something out of it. And they're not. I hate to break it to the men out there. You ain't getting it. So, and that's not throwing shade. That's just fact. By the time they landed that first cover with DC, they hadn't earned shit. There's been tons of artists that are same quality work that has ran circles around that particular person that should have had a shot before she ever got one. But we see that a lot too. Like a lot of times I tell people, You don't have to be the best artist in this industry. You don't have to be the most experienced. I mean, shit, you can cut to the front of the line just by ass kissing and friend kissing the right group of people, especially if you're a certain area. What's up, Jim? What's up, Mitch? Brandon. So, like I said, shit can happen. I get it. But at the end of the day, this is our job. And, a lot of artists do take advantage of fans, and a lot of fans are scared to say something, which I don't understand. But also, then again, there's a lot of people in this field that are scared to say shit because they're worried they'll get labeled a troublemaker, a problem, a negative person. And the way I look at it is, if you don't want people knowing this shit, I always think you have something to hide, or you're riding the same train that those other people are doing. You just haven't got called out yet. Yeah, I get that. Like I said, sometimes shit happens. If you're a fan and you're choosing to meet the artist at a show to pick something up, completely understand that. That's a different ballgame. That's your choice. If they forget and them forgetting to bring it, that can happen too. Because let's be honest, when we go to do shows, we have enough shit to keep up with instead of trying to remember what particular commission to bring to what particular show. Now, to be fair, if I have stuff that is being picked up at a con, the minute they tell me they're picking it up at a con, it goes in my go box. It may sit in that go box for 2 or 3 shows until I get to that show that they're meeting me at. I don't set it in my office and hope to remember it, because I can tell you I won't remember it if it's sitting in my office, because I have my go stuff in the go boxes that I just take straight to my vehicle. But the minute somebody says, oh, let me pick that up at this event, I will go put it in my go box. Not every artist is going to think about that. They're not going to do it. Everybody runs their shit their own way. Now, to me personally, I try not to do too much of that. I'd rather pay the damn shipping myself and ship them the product instead of me trying to remember to bring it to a show. I mean, I've had people that ask me that all the time, and I tell them, hey, let me just go ahead and ship it to you so I don't accidentally forget it. So, but that's a different thing. That's a fan choosing to do that process. And then shit can happen. Like I said, we got so much like, really and truly, to be fair to artists, especially artists that don't have a handler. And it's even worse when someone has a handler and doesn't get shit done. That's really bad. If you make mistakes and you kind of forget shit and you're the only one doing it all, you're talking to fans, you're handling invoices, you're doing the work, you're doing the travel, you're doing the hotel booking, you're doing the Comic-Con booking. It's real easy to forget shit. You got so many moving parts going. So it's even worse when someone has an official handler that's supposed to handle commission, situations. But like I said, y'all got to stop giving them passes. The worst thing you could ever say or do, a mentality to have, is, well, we don't know what they're going through, so we have to be a little lenient. No, you don't. Not even with me. Like, I mean, I do my best to get everything out shipped out as fast as I possibly can. I probably have one of the fastest turnaround times in the industry, both with cover work and shipping some stuff and doing commissions. I'm sure there's some people that's faster, but I don't really know if there are. I haven't seen them. But I also work shit tons of hours. I work almost 7 days a week all the time. So my situation is a little different than some. Not everybody's going to do it the way I do it, and they don't have to. That's my choice to work as many hours as I do, because like I said before, you've heard me mention, I don't really watch TV. I don't play video games. I don't do anything like that. I just buried myself in the work, or I work in the new home we're in. So I'm always doing something. I can't sit still, but that's my choice. And that doesn't mean someone else has to do it my way, but there has to be some accountability. And I know that's a scary word for certain people, but there needs to be some accountability. You don't get to do the free ride shit all the time and just constantly blame shit on your family or your children or your spouse or whatever the hell family drama you're trying to blame it on, which is always that person's excuse. It's always something with the family. And I'm not saying people don't have shit going on with their family. I get that if you have children, I get if you have a spouse, I get that you have these other responsibilities around your home. I get it, but you don't get to just keep screwing fans over. But y'all got to stop chasing bad relationships. Once an artist shows you what they truly think of you, there's no changing it. So when they treat you dismissive, they treat you as somebody that doesn't matter, they're showing you what you mean to them and to the degree you mean it. So, and like I said before, find artists that will appreciate your fandom, that will appreciate your support, and give it to them. Stop chasing bad habits, because that's what they are. They're bad habits, and their habits will never change. They think they're above everyone. They think they're some pedestal riding little god among people, and that they can treat everyone however they see fit, and you don't get to say shit about it. And you know, like I said, it doesn't matter whether you had a great experience with them. If there's other people calling them out for ghosting and shit like that, that's what matters. It doesn't matter what experience you had in that one moment. So, you know, don't comment on people's posts talking about, well, I got a commission and I didn't have a problem. Oh, good for you. It doesn't affect the people that had shitty experiences. Yep, Ed. So, I mean, you know, and we see that a lot. And that's one of the reasons people get pissed at me, because I sit here and talk about it while everybody else wants to ignore it and pretend it doesn't happen so they don't shake the sugar tree. But I don't give a shit. I don't need the other artists, so it doesn't matter to me. You know, I can sit here and make a great living and never have to deal with another artist for the rest of my life, and I'll still make a great living. So I don't give a shit if they get pissed off at me, because and a lot of people are like, why do you take it so damn personal? I take it personal because their fans are my fans in most cases. You know what I mean? So when you're robbing people of their hard-earned ass money, I don't give a shit who you are. It's wrong. You know, like I said, I understand shit can happen. Sometimes delays can happen. Hell, delays happen with us. I mean, look at the delays we've had with the Psycho Sal Omnibus because we chose to do a hardback. We've had to chase down people that are willing to print hardbacks without going to China. I was not expecting that. I never would have known like how difficult it is to find comic printing companies that would print a hardback. Some of them would print softbacks, and even that was few and far between as far as the printers we knew. You know, so shit can happen. There's no doubt about it. Delays can happen. There's nothing wrong with delays, as long as you're talking to the fans and you're letting the fans know what's going on. When they start asking you after a year, 2 years, where's my commission? And you're reading their shit and you're not answering them, then you ghost them and you just don't even read their shit anymore after that point. That's wrong. But you fans that go back for seconds, that's mind-blowing, because some of these people, you know, have been called out for it. So, like I said, y'all can call me negative all you want. I don't give a shit. Fans don't deserve the shit some of y'all are doing to them. And, you know, yeah, dude, like I can't fathom it. Like, and I'm not better than anybody. They can do exactly what I do. They can work the hours I work. They can work the days I work. They can do exactly what I'm doing. I'm no better than anybody else. You know, basic customer service should be on everything. And, you know, trying to go above and beyond, there's nothing wrong with that. I've been called, you know, I've had people say shit about me behind my back, telling me I'm a brown nose and I'm an ass kisser with the fans. And I'm like, no, actually, I'm just giving the fans what they're paying for, and that's proper customer service. I'm not kissing anybody's ass. You know, I'm not trying to smooch up to fans by saying what I'm saying. It's just, this is shit that should be common sense. You should not be ignoring fans when they talk to you. You should not be belittling fans when they walk away from your table. You should not be talking down to fans at your table. You should not be ghosting fans. This is shit that is just, you shouldn't be doing. It ain't got nothing to do with brown nosing or trying to play the fan favorite or however you want to word it. It's just about giving proper customer service. Like customer service is shitty across the board with every damn company just about. I mean, it's terrible. Employees have no clue how to give customer service. Most managers have no clue. It's insane how bad things have gotten. And then of course you add fandom into the mix. The egos on some of these people with the, don't you know who I am mentality and shit is just woo. Like, I can't fathom thinking you're better than the people who put you where you are. Like, I get we do the work. I understand that. I'm the one that spends the hours upon hours upon hours doing the work and shipping and answering email. I get that we do the work, but we don't make the industry. The fans do. Like, I don't understand how people lost that. They let this ego shit go to their head. And we see it at all the shows. We see the dismissive attitudes. We see the rude comments. We see the ignoring and the ghosting. Like, we see it all the time. People are constantly being called out for it. Like I said, again, I'm talking about legit problems, not somebody making some post crying about some artist drawing fan art or some artist that didn't tolerate their bullshit and put them in their place and they want to throw shade. I'm not talking about that shit, like just bull crap. I'm talking about legit, actual problems. Because you're going to get the other shit anyway. You're going to get people that act stupid because they don't like you. They're going to try to burn your name because you're willing to outwork them. You're willing to outdo whatever they're willing to do. But it's your fault that they're not getting work. It's your fault they're not getting ahead when they could do the exact same thing you do. They just don't want to. But it's our fault. So you're going to have those posts. So like I said, when you search names, check and see. There's nothing wrong with Google searching searching names on Facebook to see, how much stuff pops up about that artist. And if you see a lot of posts calling an artist out, for ghosting people when they owe them work or they owe them books, whatever the case may be, and you see that, stay away from them. They haven't changed. They're not going to change because it doesn't matter to them. People are still going to buy their stuff. People are still going to give them work. That's one of the sad things about this industry that I've realized. And that is one of the reasons some artists don't say anything, because it really is kind of pointless. All it does is hurt you for saying something if you give a shit about that, because you get labeled drama, you get labeled negative, you get labeled a troublemaker. Because the sad truth is people still go after it. They know that person is shitty, and they'll still go buy their product. They know that person ghosts people on commissions, and they'll still go buy that product. I mean, we've seen it proven with retailers who have been outed for screwing people out of thousands of dollars, and people still go buy from that retailer. We've seen it with artists who have blatantly lied and screwed fans that has been called out, and people still go buy commissions from that artist or go buy signed exclusives from that artist. So really and truly, it is kind of stupid to call it out, because all it does is hurt you as the person calling it out. Because that's just, I don't get it. I mean, me personally, I want to know when somebody's dirty, because I don't want them near me. I'm a big believer in you are the company you keep. And if you're hanging out with thieves, that tells me you're okay with theft. If you're hanging out with shitty people, it shows me you're okay with people being shitty to other people. So I don't know. I want to know. I tell people all the time, if somebody that's, I'm friends with or I'm associated with has been outed for doing dirty shit. Again, I'm talking about real legit shit, not some pity party or some jealous party where somebody's just throwing slander and hate comments because they don't like the person. But if they've been caught stealing or they've been caught robbing, backers or things like that, or shitting on people in general with legit proof, I want to know. I don't want them near me. I don't want them on my projects. You know, and we don't know everything about everybody. So that is a good reason why you should like name search. And I mean, I do it too. Like when I get somebody that comes to me and wants to be on one of my projects, you know, Psycho Sal or whatever, one of the first things I do is I ask around. Hey, do you know this person? Have you worked with them? Or if I know they've worked on, like, if I know they've worked on someone else's project and they're wanting to do one for mine, because we all kind of have that Kevin Bacon connection, you know, I ask them, hey, what was your experience with this person? And they'll tell me, you know, if it went smooth, they'll tell me it went smooth. If they tell me, oh shit, dude, every damn time I turned around, I was having to ask them where the art were. They missed 3 deadlines. They constantly making excuses. I won't work with them, because if you're over there screwing them over and delaying their projects, you're going to delay mine. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with searching someone's name and seeing what pops up. You know, like I said, though, you got to make sure you're looking at the right shit, though. Don't be searching someone's name and you see somebody, oh, he's an asshole or she's an asshole or they were mean. You know, if there's no legitimate proof, then it's hearsay, and never, ever listen to hearsay. Because this day and age, if there's actually, if it actually happened or it happened the way they claim it is, there's proof. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's screenshots of conversations or, you know, things like that. There's always proof. Because, I mean, most people talk through communication with text or messenger or whatever, or emails. Nobody's really talking on the phone. So, you know, but I don't know. I personally don't get it. I think fans, I think the fans deserve our utmost respect. Because like I said, we're not a necessary commodity. Let's be honest about it. Let's be truly honest about it. We don't need any of this shit. You know, money's tight with everybody. Money doesn't go anywhere near as far as it used to. You know, fuel is high, air and heating is high, rent is high, insurance is high, and you know, cost of living has went through the roof. While minimal incomes are still minimal. Like incomes haven't matched. Let's be honest. Payroll incomes haven't matched the cost of living increases for decades. I mean, shit. Minimum wage here in Mississippi is like $7 and something an hour. It's a joke. And it's like that everywhere. Cost of living has completely outran the income that are coming into families. So, and we're a disposable income type collecting. You know what I mean? It's not a necessity. We don't provide anything other than a little entertainment. So, you know, the fact that someone wants to be a fan of you and the fact they want to spend their hard-earned ass money with you, you know, that deserves a certain level of respect. I really believe that. And now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that allows fans to talk to you any way they want to either, because it is a symbiotic relationship. Without us, there's no comics and art. Without the fans, there's no comics and art. Now, I do believe that the fans make a much larger impact on that scenario than we do, because my scenario I always compare that to kind of back that up is there are thousands upon thousands of artists and creators. Half of us could walk away tomorrow and it wouldn't hurt the industry. But you let half the fan base walk away. You let Thanos pull a snap on that, and the industry's hurting. Now you're going to lose half the artists because there's not enough people to support all the different artists. So the fans, I definitely believe the fans play a bigger role in the fandom than we do as artists and creators. But it is a symbiotic relationship. We do kind of need one another to make it work. So there's nothing wrong with fans holding artists to a certain level of respect and everything for you giving them their fandom. You know, and again, there's a certain level of respect from the fans to understand all the hard work, sacrifice, and dedication we put into what we do to bring these things to you guys. So again, it's another one of those things where it kind of takes both, you know, to support the other, and it takes both to respect the other. So I mean, have I had fans that were very kind of rude and disrespectful because they didn't get shit the very second they thought they should get it? Yeah, and I've put them in their damn place too. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit for a fan either if you're being disrespectful. And now funny thing is usually when I've had, and it's rare it happens. It really is rare that I get somebody being snotty and impatient. And it's kind of funny because usually when that happens, it's somebody I've never worked with before, and they've been on my commission list a week. Like, I'm not shitting you. I had one dude get pissy and smartass because his commission wasn't done after a week. Now, keep in mind, anytime I put anyone on my commission list, I explain how the commission list works. Okay, you're coming on the commission list. I do cap my commission list. I open it twice a year, January 1st, June the 1st, and I usually do around 60 or 70 spots. And so I explain that. And then I go, now, it'll be a minute before I get to you because I travel for shows. I do covers for publication. There's other people ahead of you on the commission list. So usually at any given moment, it takes me anywhere from a month to 3 months to get to your name on the list, especially during the height of Comic-Con season. And it depends on what's going on. I was like, but usually, it's not much longer than that. Some rare occasions where it might be 6 months to 8 months, but that's usually when it's those rare moments where I might have like right now is a good point. Like the commission, like this is the first time this has been this heavy on the commission list for 2 years. And I don't mean heavy in the quantity because that always feels on the 60 or 70 spots. That always feels. What I'm talking about heavy is almost every single one of the commissions are 11 by 17, full body, fully rendered pencil, some inked and colored, single character, double character, triple character. One commission is 6 characters. So those don't happen all the time. Most commissions that come through are sketch covers on sketch blanks, usually a headshot or half body, occasional full body. Every once in a while, you would get an 11 by 17 commission because they're bigger, more expensive. But this particular commission list, I've had 10, 11, I think 10, 11, 8 or 10, 11 by 17s, full body, fully rendered, cover quality, background, some of them inked and colored. So those become, 8-hour, 10-hour commissions for one piece. Then you tack on, I do 2 to 3 shows a month. This has been the first year that I've only done one show for June, July, and August. And that's because I knew we were buying a house. We had to have time to move everything. And I'd be doing the majority of the moving by myself because everyone else worked. And each load of stuff on the U-Haul was an 1.5-hour drive, one direction, then 1.5 hours back to get another load. So 3 hours of a day was spent driving. So I knew that. Then I knew settings, moving stuff in and unpacking stuff. So most of the time I have at least 2 shows a month, if not 3, and the occasional 4 shows a month, which usually only happens about once a year. I try to avoid 4 shows in 1 month because that's rough. 3 shows is rough, but 4 is damn sure rough. But sometimes it does happen. So there are things that can cause delays, and you have to be patient. Like I said, there is a certain line in the sand when it comes to the patience, though. And I've called out an artist for that before and got my money back. I'm not waiting 3 years for a commission. It ain't happening. I don't give a shit who you are. I usually tell people, the majority of busy artists, be respectful in general about the commission list. It's not unusual to be on a very busy artist commission list for 6 months to a year, maybe even a year and a half. I think a year and a half is kind of pushing it. Again, unless you're someone ordering multiple projects and you're kind of paying as you go and you're letting them work on it whenever they feel like jumping on that or they have the extra time. And then they jump back over to more pressing commissions or deadline stuff. Now, that's a different thing. If you're choosing to allow that work on it when you can thing, you need to remember you're the one that chose that. And it's still important for you as an artist not to abuse that either. You want to kind of keep the ball rolling on that too. Now, sometimes those things can turn into a 2-year process because you're working on, I'm working on one of those right now that I've been working on for the last year. and I'm on, I think it's 4 total pieces. Each one of them is 11 by 17, fully rendered pencil, fully rendered background, 2 characters per piece. And the guy was like, man, you just get them done when you can, no rush at all. And he's being honest about that. There is no rush with him. He's super patient about it. He's like, man, you just work on it when you can. But I still jump over it every so often. Like I've got 3 of them done. But we've been working on that project for about 1.5 years, close to 2 years. But again, he's happy whenever he gets them. And I'm on the 4th one right now, 2 character piece. So that's a different scenario, because that's, again, that's you as a fan choosing to let that not have any type of hard or soft deadline. You're just letting it happen as it happens. Now, are there benefits to that mentality? Yes, there can be. When that happens, yes, it takes you longer to get those projects, but they're usually much bigger projects, so it allows you to pay over time and things like that, or pay up front, and they still work as they get to them. It usually comes out insanely incredible pieces. And again, that's not an artist's fault in the sense that they're trying to rush everything else. It's just everything else has pretty much a hard deadline or a soft deadline that you have to be respectful of, and you have to get stuff done. And when you're super busy, you just have to get it done. Now, they're not subconsciously doing one piece of art better than another piece of art. It's just when you have something that has a bit of a hard deadline on it, you have to keep pushing forward, whether you're kind of liking where that piece is going or not, because we're never happy with anything we do, no matter how much time we have on it. We're our worst critics. But you have to just get it done. And then when you're working on something casually in your free time, you get to go back to it with fresh eyes. So you catch mistakes easier. You get those fixed faster. Because there's been plenty of times where I'm working on a cover, I'm working on a commission that had a hard or soft deadline, and I get it done. I think it looks great. I send it off, and then later on that image will pop back up or something, and I'll notice something that I didn't like on it. Because again, you don't really have time to walk away and come back. I try to do that a little bit, because I'll lay out the loose pencils on 5 or 6 pieces for commissions or cover work. And then I'll lay out the loose designs, get them approved. And while I'm waiting on them to be approved, I jump back on like 4 or 5 other pieces that have already been approved. And I start laying the final pencils on that. Then when I get those done, I make sure the clients are happy with that. While I'm waiting on that, I jump back on that other batch and bring them into final pencils. So I try to do it a little bit to where I can kind of come back a week later or something like that with fresh eyes on that other batch of stuff and try to catch mistakes. But even then, stuff still slips through. Even when you guys look at, like I said, we're not doing it consciously. We're not going, oh, I'm going to do their commission better than this commission just because. Like, that's not what is happening. It's just, like when you, like case in points, like when you look at some of my stuff and it looks one way, but then you look at stuff like case in point, like the way I did this piece, this may be 10 times better than some of the other commissions and stuff I've done. And it's not intentional. It's just, I've been working on that piece a little bit here and there for 3 months, 4 months. So I'm constantly going back a week later with fresh eyes. I'm constantly being fresh when I'm jumping on that piece, because I'll do it at the end of the evening, or I'll do it in the hotel and in between cons, whatever the case. I'll work on it 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there, an hour there. I go back with fresh eyes and I tweak things. I changed a bunch of things on this design. Because again, going back with fresh eyes allowed me to see things I didn't really like, and I had the time to actually fix it, because I'm not working digital with my art. So I can't go in there and simply change shit and it's fixed. When you're doing traditional, if I don't like the pose of a head or pose of an arm or the body or whatever it is, I have to erase that whole damn section and start over. And sometimes when you change one section, you end up having to change multiples. So you don't really get a lot of time to do that when it's, hard or soft deadline stuff. So always be understanding about that with artists. Be understanding, be patient. You know, again, if it's an artist you're seeing constantly post travel shows for travel photos for shows, constantly posting cover drops, constantly posting other commissions for other people, they're getting to your piece. So just be patient. Now, if you're following some artist that owes you shit and the only damn thing they ever post is drama, or, you know, political shit, religious shit, or movie shit, or sports shit, if they're constantly posting everything but art, they're probably bullshitting. I'm not saying that's absolute. It's just, good chances they are. Because if they were busy, they would be posting actual shit pertaining to their job. And if you're not doing that, maybe you need to do that. But anyway, all right. So guys, I'm going to get off here. I just want to give you an update, but I kind of wanted to talk about that because it's easier to do a video than make a post because the algorithm shit, the videos show up better than posts do. But in my personal opinion, stop making excuses for retailers, for artists, whatever the case. If it's a legit problem, there's nothing they can do about that. You know, if somebody died or even if they did get sick, or let's say the printer screwed up and the retailer didn't get their books on time, that's not their fault. Like, I mean, you know, people are allowed to get sick. People are allowed to have family problems, but you can't use that as a crutch every single time you're behind on shit. At some point, you got to accept some accountability and choose to work Saturday, choose to work Sunday. Because again, one of the main things people need to understand as an artist or a creator, this is not a part-time job. You have to work this as like a double time. Like you don't get to work for yourself and have 8 hours a day and off Saturday and Sunday. That's not how it works when you work for yourself. You work a shit ton of hours, and you need to accept that or get the hell out of the field and stop screwing shit up for everybody else. Because when you're an artist and you screw shit up, it isn't just about you. You create a really bad taste in those fans' mouths to where they don't want to deal with other people. When you screw up a Kickstarter, they don't want to deal with other Kickstarters. When you screw up commissions and you don't deliver, they don't want to do any more commissions. When you screw up not finishing commissions at shows because you took too many damn orders, and then you don't go home immediately, knock out those commissions within a few weeks and get them shipped out, you're creating problems. Now, sometimes that can be difficult. That's why, some of us do try not to take as many commissions as shows can, but sometimes people want to order big stuff. I mean, I got one guy that he ordered a commission at a show, and it's a 22 by 17. So it's huge. It's got like 6 characters on it. That one's going to be super time consuming because I have to bounce back and forth between other shit to that one. But yeah, that's the most important thing. Customers just want updates. Even though I don't necessarily have an update to give people, I still sent out an update the other day on the Kickstarter that, we're just kind of waiting our turn. We had a lot of shit going on. Like I said, sometimes shit happens, but there are certain things we don't have any control over in that. And you got to be understanding and patient when that happens. But again, you can't use bullshit excuses or this problem, that problem, or other every single time you're missing deadlines or every single time you're ghosting fans and stuff. You just don't get to do that. But you guys have got to stop chasing it, though. People that do that to you, they're not going to change. So just go find someone else to give your fandom to. There's tons of great artists out there and creators that will appreciate your interest and appreciate your support. I don't know why y'all want to chase bad relationships. This isn't high school. It doesn't matter who they are. Leave it alone. But anyway, I'm going to get off here. So there's your updates. Next month, Tucson Comic-Con, I'll be there. Fan Expo Dallas, I'll be there. UltraCon in Palm Beach, Florida. I think it's Palm Beach. I'll be there. Psycho Sound Omnibus are in the works. Sorry for the delay on that. Like I said, sometimes shit happens. Like I said, it all depends on how much times the shit happen. You know what I mean? This is the first delay we have had out of 11 Kickstarters. So, knock on wood, That's pretty good damn odds. This is the first delay we had on a Kickstarter, and sadly, it had to do with one printer that kind of jerked us around for 7 weeks. Sadly, after this fiasco, I won't ever be printing hardbacks again. I never would have thought it would have been this difficult to find printers that would print hardbacks without going to China. And I refuse to print my stuff outside the country. It's not happening. So this will be the last time we ever do hardbacks. We'll do softbacks in the future because that seems to be relatively easy to find. They're a little pricey for sure to print softbacks also. But most of the printers we talk to, they print the softbacks. They just don't print hardbacks for whatever reason. But anyway, I'm going to get off here. I got to get downstairs, get to work on commissions. I'm tackling more 11x17 commissions today. I've got some things that I'm going to ship out to you guys, packages that I've got ready to go. I will be opening the commission list, pre-show list here soon for all 3 shows, Tucson, Dallas, and UltraCon in Palm Beach. It'll all be on one post because I have to get them done over the next couple weeks. Because I'm thinking when I leave for Tucson, Arizona at the end of the month, because it's the first weekend, I believe, of September, right after that, I'm supposed to be at Fan Expo Dallas, and I don't think I'm going to come home. I think I'm going to leave Tucson, go straight to Dallas, stay a night or 2 there, and then it's a 3-day show for Fan Expo Dallas. It just doesn't make sense for me to drive 6 hours past Dallas, be home 2 days, and then drive 6 hours back. I still might do that. I'm not sure yet. But the other one, as soon as I leave Dallas, I may be driving straight to UltraCon in Palm Beach. Because, again, it doesn't really make sense for me to drive 6 hours this way and then 12 or 15 hours back to, I think it's Palm Beach. So I may not be home the entire first 3 weeks of September. So I'm going to open that commission list here soon. I know some of you guys have been asking, and I promise you I have not forgotten. For the I'm working on the new cover for the Path of Pale Rider book. The Ripper Gene's done. It's done with colors. I'm starting the Ripper. I'm starting the Path of Pale Rider new cover, the new Ferryman cover. Nut Brigade's new cover. So I'm trying to get everything caught up, which is one of the reasons I have not launched Sentinel Veil of the Damned. I know you guys are waiting on that sucker too, man, and I appreciate that. I'm sorry I have not had a chance to finish the script on that. I just wanted to make sure that everything else was caught up before I launched it. I wanted to make sure the Psycho Sal Omnibus Collector's Edition Kickstarter books had shipped, or at least, gotten in from printer before I launched, Sentinel Veil of the Damned. Like I said, I don't believe in launching stuff while I'm waiting on other stuff to process. So I put that on hold to make sure we get one thing done before we move into the next thing. Even though that's not how most people do it. I understand that. I get it. That's just the way I want to do it. I want to get Psycho Sal Omnibus printed and shipped out before I launch the next Kickstarter. I just don't believe in launching Kickstarters while we're waiting on one. You know what I mean? I don't think that's necessarily right. Yes, it slows the process. I get that. Yes, you guys know I'm good for my Kickstarters. Like I said, we've done 11 Kickstarters of my own IPs, and every single one of them has been early by a huge amount. This is the first time we've had one delayed, even though we're still in the window of when we said they would ship. But still, it's later than what I wanted them to go out. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm going to get off here. You guys have a great day. There's a few of the Absolute Wonder Woman medals left. That order's about to go in to the metal printer. So if you have not grabbed you a copy, this medal is going to look ridiculously badass in person with those color palette, with that color palette. So if you have not grabbed one of these, you need to send me a PM. I only have about 4 left on the order, and then we'll be done. And again, remember, when it comes to metals, once they sell out, we don't print any more of that metal. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you again for your love and support. Remember, follow artists and creators that appreciate it. Give your fandom where your fandom is respected. But you guys have a great day. Artists, do better. Just do better. Don't get pissy about what I'm saying. Just do better. The fans of the Bloodline, prove it. Show them that. Don't talk about it. Act on it, you know. But anyway, you guys have a great day. Talk to you later.